Vindica's POV. "I see a light. We are almost there," I shouted. "I don't think they are following us, but don't slow down. As soon as we exit the tunnel, fly up and towards the peak. We need to be sure we are safe, so I will seal the exit as best as I can," Vompak said. "But you're almost out of mana," I pointed out. "I will summon Paxus. I can use his mana," he said. "Great plan, but you need mana for a summoning and you're out," Suma reminded him. "Jake has enough mana, we can use him," she suggested. "Fine," Vompak agreed. We shot out of the cave and Suma summoned Jake. "Sentinel," she shouted. Jake began to appear, but something was wrong. He was on the ground and blood was running down his arm. "Jake!" She fluttered over to stand by his head. "Is he okay?" I asked. "The summoning is already healing him, but—" She stopped and seemed rattled. "He says he can't move." "I didn't hear him say anything," Vompak said, tiredly walking closer. "It was over our private connection," she explained. I was stunned. I had no idea a familiar and a master could communicate both ways via private connection. I had only ever used mine to give Argosa commands, and I know she has never used it to talk to me. Of course, she can't actually talk. "Did he say what happened?" I asked. "He says that after we closed the tunnel, one of those creatures bit his arm. He knocked it off easily, but once I unsummoned him, he lost the ability to move," she explained. "That creature must have had some kind of paralytic venom," Vompak suggested. While we were talking, Suma was already casting healing spells, and Jake was slowly regaining his movement. "Jake, Vompak needs mana in order to seal the cave. Can he borrow some of yours?" Suma asked. Fine, Jake tried to say. "Do it," Suma confirmed, after Jake gave up and lay back down. Vompak came closer and placed both the tips of his wings on Jake's body. Jake, in turn, closed his eyes, and in a few moments Vompak was surrounded in a brilliant dark blue and purple display. Light shined from his body as if he were ablaze. "Vompak, Jake has inversion magic, so don't try and heal anyone until his mana has left your body completely." Vompak said nothing, but nodded that he understood. Each and every one of his feathers were puffed up. He slowly turned to the cave and cast a single spell. It appeared to be small, but the effect was extreme. I watched as the cave collapsed in on itself from as far into it as I could see, and based on the sound I imagined it went even deeper than that. With a thunderous cacophony, the last of the cave was sealed, but Vompak wasn't done yet. He cast another spell that hardened and changed the colour of the dirt, turning it into stone. "Incredible," I whispered. POV of Vompak. "The power I felt was incredible, like the unstoppable surge of an overflowing river, and I was nearly swept away from it." "Vompak, Jake has inversion magic, so don't try to heal anyone until his mana has left your body completely," Suma said. But I could barely hear her. I was so overwhelmed that I couldn't even bring myself to speak, but I could act. I turned and cast a spell. I used as much control and power as I could muster, and the effect was far greater than I imagined. I can't be sure, but I think I collapsed the cave for several minutes of flight time. "Incredible," I heard someone say softly. After I cast the spell, I could still feel some of that power lingering. I examined myself. It seems I was surrounded in a display, but it wasn't my normal colour. This one was a dark blue with hints of purple, whereas mine is normally a light green. Not that I make a habit of showing off with displays like some haughty buffoon. "When will this display fade?" I asked. "It could be a few minutes, but you need to use up the mana Jake gave you first," Suma explained. "I could try to heal," I offered, but was cut off. "No," Suma yelled. "I told you, you can't heal anyone with Jake's mana." "But this power, I'm sure—" "No. Your healing spell would only be inverted. Right now you don't have access to any order magic," she said. "But the nature spell worked," I pointed out. "Nature magic can't be inverted. There is no opposite to nature. But if you try casting a healing spell, it would be inverted," she told me. "Do what?" Vindica asked. "Death magic," Suma said. The POV of Lorik Isbala. "My group and I finally arrived after our long travel, with our prize in tow. Our familiars were tired, so we sent them off to rest as we located the drill instructor. He seemed surprised when he saw us. "Michael ready?" he asked. "I hope the beasts of the mountainside didn't prove too much to you." "No, sir," I said. "We have the bands." One of the Nume I was travelling with raised the leg that we had tied it around. "Well then," he said, sounding impressed, "but don't let it show too much. That makes your group the winner. No one else has arrived yet. Go get some food and sleep. Dismissed." With that, we left and went to eat. "I'm going to enjoy that extra hour of sleep tomorrow," one of the other Nume said, stretching out his wings. "Me too," the other agreed. "As will I," I stated. "I must say, you two did well." "We make a good team," the first one said. The other nodded in agreement. They weren't wrong. Our three skills and the individual natures of our familiars worked well together. Perhaps we can work together again in our next training session, I suggested. They seemed appreciable to the suggestion and agreed.